This is Dr. David Herzog, clinical psychologist and yoga teacher for the technology of you, here to ask you to vote for George Floyd. We have an election coming up in November, and it is so important to this country, to this world, so important that you vote for George Floyd. Vote for the needed change. Vote for justice. Vote for equality. Vote for George Floyd. Many are challenged to vote, and if they are not able to vote, in November, George Floyd might not win. It is so essential that George Floyd wins to usher in the needed change in the world. Not just in this country, in the world. So perhaps if you have the privilege of an automobile and the resources to put gas in your automobile, you use that privilege to go into those underprivileged, low-income neighborhoods, predominantly inhabited by minorities. And you find out if they have a voter ID card or what qualifies for a voter ID card. They're not necessarily the same, right? You have to have a specific type of government ID, more specifically issued from the DMV. Some of those poor folks in those neighborhoods can't get to the DMV. They can't get to the DMV because the closest one, or what used to be the closest one, has been closed by the hegemony, by the system that wants to keep them from voting. So how are they going to get to the DMV that could be 50, 100 miles away? Do they have the money to get there? They certainly can't drive. Not without a driver's license and not without a car. And can't rely on the poor public transportation system, which also costs money, but nonetheless is poor and would make it very challenging to get 50 to 100 miles to that DMV. And also have the resources to pay for that driver's license, that government-issued ID that would allow them to vote. So use your privilege. If you enable one person to vote who otherwise wouldn't, you are making a difference. If you can afford to pack your car with people and take them to the DMV, you're making a difference. Better yet, charter a van, charter a bus, and fill it full of people who don't have the IDs that they need to vote. And call upon your friends, call upon your coworkers to donate to the cause and to help fund this expedition, this caravan of change. And then in November, you Go back to those neighborhoods with that transportation, and you lead the caravan to the polls to vote for George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Alton Sterling, Botham Jean, Tatiana Jefferson, Ahmaud Arbery. Voting for change, voting in support of the we. Using every ounce of privilege that you have to make that happen. That all can be thriving and this world can revive. Using the technology of you.